Cool, Marty.
that, man.
Marty.
That's the real introduction is, playing with someone, right?
Exactly, man.
So you really get to know someone.
That's how you get to know someone through your playing.
Very
Exactly.
tasty
Why,
there.
thank you, sir. Nice grooving, my friend.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
Man. Way to lay it down.
Yeah.
So you are primarily known as a teacher.
Yes, guitar teacher, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I feel real fortunate to get to be here, for one.
Well, thank you.
And
I'm
to
glad
get
you're
to, make a living with the guitar. This is
Right.
Right, both of us.
I know. Pretty charmed life.
Very much.
In that way, being able to have the guitar as your main source of income, and again, teaching. Kind of back to that. That's a whole thing. You've kind of run the gamut of teaching.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier. Tell everybody how you got started.
Well, as you know, as a guitar player, we all start as a guitar player.
Right.
Right? We don't go, I want to be a guitar teacher someday. It's not usually the first dream,
Right.
But as a guitar player, what do you do during the day? Besides sleep or whatever.
Exactly. and how do you earn extra money?
Yeah, how do you supplement, what you're doing, right? And I really, the guitar teachers I've had some great guitar teachers who were mentors to me.
Oh, wow. That's
taught
great.
me guitar, but also were, taught me about music and life in general, like
So
true mentors. So I always looked up to those teachers I had. And when I started getting in some professional bands, I knew that's what I at least want to try to do for my day job. And I eventually started picking up some students. Eventually, maybe 15 years later, it's a lot steadier of a living than the gigs, especially if you're trying to make it in a band. If you're playing in an all-original band that does all original music, you have to really, really make it to make a living at that.
Right. It's kind of binary. It's either you are or you aren't.
Yeah. So I did cover bands, but yeah, teaching guitar was definitely how I continued to grow a music career, basically.
Yeah.
Make a living in the day teaching guitar, and I really enjoyed it. I've always got along with kids, I could teach kids. I also loved the lessons that I got and was excited to kind of interpret how to show other people those mind-blowing things that I've learned about.
Right.
And I was excited to be able to pass that on. So, next thing I know, I'm just a full-time kind of gigging at night, teaching lessons by day. Around 2005, I randomly got a gig as an elementary school music teacher, general music, not guitar.
Nice. Yeah.
Not guitar, just hot cross buns.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was pretty tough. But I'd sneak a little Iron Man in there, or little, little Stairway to Heaven, and have the kids play the thing, So that was really fun. But basically, in 2008, the economy crashed. And I lost that job, and I lost some students, and I lost some of the gigs that I was doing. I had some regular gigs that got cut, and I was kind of panicked. And so I started making YouTube videos, really to just promote myself as a guitar teacher, to try and get more private students. That was it. It was very, very simple thinking. I need to do something, and this new platform of video seems like a really good fit. Also, I remember one week I had taught, fourth week in a row, the kid didn't practice.
Yeah.
And it was like a Hendrix lick or something. I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm going to film the lick on my laptop camera, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. And I'm going to put your name in the title. So it'll be really easy for you to find, and then I'm going to look at how many views it got, so I know that you watched. So in other words, I wasn't even trying to get other people to watch the video. It was literally this one kid.
Yeah.
And then, a bunch of happy accidents later, and just kind of keeping my mind open to it. When I titled the video with the song name instead of the kid's name, it got a few hundred views.
Yeah.
And I knew it wasn't that one student.
Right.
And I was like, okay, there's something to that. And then there's something to this. And I just kept doubling down on videos.
Right.
And it just grew. And, there's growing pains and a lot of lessons learned.
Sure.
I've been doing it for, we're going on 14 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Things are changing fast.
Always.
Always changing,
Yeah.
The technology and how people consume. And so I've just really literally every day, I'm just like, man, I get another day to do this, and I'm going to do it as long as the people will have me. So it just became my full-time thing. It was just a great, way to do what I love to do, support a family, not travel.
Right, and also creating a dependable income as well, which, you know,
For
that's
sure.
another great thing about teaching in general.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the only downside is that I'm stuck with this thing. No. You know, it's fun.
man.
Now I'm kidding. But in the very beginning of YouTube, you couldn't make your own thumbnails. They were just auto-generated.
Right.
And the first kind of big, kind of viral guitar lesson I had, I was wearing the hat. It was a blues lesson. I was trying to be like bluesy with the hat. And all the comments were like, "Where's the guy in the hat? We want more guy in the hat." And because you could see the silhouette in the tiny little thumbnails. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I'm the guy in the hat."
All of a sudden, you're the guy in the hat.
Yeah, and it served me really well because, you know, once again, you have a little silhouette. It's a little trademark. It's identifiable.
You're building a brand.
Yeah.
You're building a brand, and you've done that clearly.
I'm so grateful.
Clearly.
So grateful to be able to do this. And and there was no master plan though, which is, I think, just how a lot of those things happen. It's a timing thing.
Sure.
You know,
you were early in the game.
Yep.
You know, and fully committed early.
Yeah, and in fact, you know, when people ask me like, you know, how to get into it now, I don't even know. I've just kept it going, and you know, it's just all these. Every day is like a gift, you know?
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
And I know, besides, I mean, you're an amazing musician, but you're also a teacher as well.
Right. That's one of the things I do. I have a couple students at the college level. One of the things with teaching that's hard is that every student absorbs the information in a different way.
I have definitely learned that.
Right?
Yeah.
So how do you handle that on YouTube? Because
Right.
let me preface this by saying, watching your videos, you really make everything look super easy, right? And I know that's part of the inviting thing, you know, especially for beginner players, especially. I mean, they got to feel like, hey, this isn't like this impossible hurdle I can't do. You make everything so inviting and so easy.
I mean, even when I was before I was making videos, you know, and I'm sure you've experienced this as well, teaching lessons, is the nervousness that students have.
Sure.
I always, from the very beginning, was trying to disarm the student and make them feel comfortable.
Sure.
And I had taught thousands of one-on-one lessons before I ever made a video.
Yeah.
So I kind of just had my vibe already.
Right.
That was all about teaching real people, and the vibe just carried over. I mean, that was just, I was able to just do that, but on camera, and get comfortable enough to have the camera feel like it's that person,
Right.
You know?
Man, that's interesting because you took all of that amassed knowledge from using all of your teaching skills and observing what it took and what worked and what didn't work, and that's how you created kind of the...
No, absolutely. If I hadn't taught thousands of lessons before the videos, it would be a totally different thing.
Right.
Nowadays, people probably just go straight to making videos when they learn guitar, either showing off or teaching something they learned, whereas I had the... that personal connection with tons of different types of students that learn different ways. Kids who aren't that into it, but their parents are making them do it.
Right.
And then, you know, adults who are like, you know,
I always wanted to do this.
Yeah. Or like I've taught guys who were in bands just as rhythm guitar, but they're like, oh, I finally want to just, you know, be able to play one solo in my gig, you know? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So all those little things, and then like truly getting the feedback with the people, I just banked all these little tricks that I saw work with people. And I'm like, oh, I know what to do in this video, or I know what to do in this video, but it was all stuff from the experience of teaching people.
Yeah, it's the skill set. I mean, you developed the skill set.
I didn't just like learn guitar and then go, oh, I'm going to teach people on YouTube. You know, it was just not that story. You know, it was a good decade of being a guitar teacher.
Wow.
You know, which was just,
that's
and
cool.
that's where the timing comes in, because like right at the beginning of YouTube coming out, I was already like a decade in of a guitar teacher going like, I can't even fit any more students in, and I'm kind of burned out.
Yeah.
You know, just the energy it takes to teach all day.
Right, sure.
So it was just like that perfect timing, you know. If it happened today, it'd be a totally different story.
Right. Well, and thinking about this too now, the other thing that you learn from all of that is these are the things that people are interested in, right? And these are the tools that they need to learn to be able to do these things that they're interested in.
Yeah.
And so that's another big equation. I mean, technically curriculum.
Sure.
You know, like for me, like I said, I'm teaching at the college level, so there are certain benchmarks we're trying to hit and certain things we're, you know, trying to do. And of course, these students are, you know, they're full-time students, so they're overloaded with everything else, man, that college brings, you know. So it's a different thing.
I love not having the pressure of that. I gotta say, you know, like, oh, I'm going to teach a Beatles song today.
Yeah.
Or, oh, you know, I haven't done a like technique theory thing in a while. Oh, I'll just pick something out. The other thing, there's more beginners out there than anything else.
Sure.
I know you know that.
Yeah.
So I'm catering to the people that I feel like need it the most.
Yeah.
Some great guitar player, they might check my video to learn a song really quick, you know, like because they're just like, oh, I got to learn this song for this gig.
Yeah.
Let's see what Marty did or whatever.
Right.
But for the most part, these are people that are just entering into the world of guitar.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I learned from teaching so much. It's like most people are pretty beginnerish, you know, the high percentage.
Yeah.
So I've just always, you know, catered to that more. And then as someone gets more advanced, they're going to, you know, I still think they should go find a good teacher like you know, because I can't do individual, you know, I'm never going to be able to be like, here,
Take it
Billy,
to the next level,
here, Billy, you specifically have a rhythm issue that we need to work on.
Exactly.
You know, I just can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do the one-on-one thing in that on that level. But but again, you know so many of things that people want to learn and need to learn to build, and they can just, watch your lessons and just continue to build. And all experience and all that knowledge is always helpful. I mean, every little thing has its own little trick or its own little problem that you're trying to overcome, either technically or musically or mentally or, like you say, rhythmically or something. There's always something where it's like, that taught me something I didn't previously know.
Well, in our intro, I was trying to peep over. I couldn't quite get the view. I'm always stealing. But that's that's actually what it's all about.
It's borrowing.
It's borrowing.
It is, man. I always use the use the example of the filter. It's like everything comes in, and this is like the filter. We've got this big funnel right here, and everything comes in, and that's the filter. And it filters down through our brain, and out through our fingers.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, and it's everything, man. It's all those noises from outside and noises of nature, and every piece of music you hear on a TV commercial or whatever, it all gets in there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Well, should I start with my little E blues run?
Do.
Okay,
that's a great one.
So, something that I've did a lot when I was teaching people that were trying to. So many people just kind of stay in the, like, for instance, in the key of E, of course, the E minor pentatonic.
Yeah. The box.
You got that, right?
Yeah, the box.
And when you start, a lot of those guys go, well, like, how do they do that, though? Like, I'm just stuck there.
Yeah.
And it can be a little intimidating to go, well, let's learn all the shapes of the pentatonic, plug your roots in, and that is all good stuff.
Yeah.
But especially in the key of E, which are blues dads, blues lawyers, and blues doctors, I've seen this over and over. There is a certain goal that a lot of people have is like, I just want to be able to go to that blues jam and be able to hang for one song.
And play something cool.
Yeah, and play something cool. And a lot of those blues jams stay, the blues is in E a lot. So I've got this E blues run. And what it does is it's just this pathway that gets you up and down the entire neck.
Cool.
It's very useful. I mean, I use it nonstop. But, you have the open E minor pentatonic here, which is great for soloing. I mean, obviously, I mean, that's great. But we can climb all the way up from that open position. So your lowest note is literally the open E, and then it ends up in what I call, one of my guitar teachers coined this, the home row. Like, in typing.
Yeah.
The home row pentatonic, So
Nice.
we have the open E all the way up. All the way up there with one little device. And I will lay it out right now. We go open E, and then we go 3-5, which is another guitar meme that has been created in the last few years. 0-3-5 is what everyone talks about, 0-3-5 all the time, But it does start with 0-3-5. Yeah. So 0-3-5-7. So another thing about this is when you start adding slides, that's very melodic and vocal as opposed to just always. And of course, everyone wants to go bend every note. But the slide. mean, that's got that extra flavor than just knowing the scale.
Right.
So we got 0, 3, 5, slide to 7, and then it's all box oriented. So 0, 3, 5, slide to 7, and then on the A string, 5, 7, and then on the D string, 5, 7. And even just that there. You've already got a nice little pathway with some slides and some flavor.
You're about halfway up the neck.
Right, and you've made it up there. Now, what's cool is you can fill the gaps later and learn the shapes.
Right.
You know, as you get better, you're just going to be hungry to learn more. But 0, 3, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, slide that up. And then once again on the G string, 7, 9. And now we're at an E note again. So you have. The other cool thing is you don't run out of room. Like as a beginner learning to solo, you kind of like get to the top and you're like, go back down. Whereas now you don't run out, you know?
Yeah.
And so now we do one little finger transition, the 8 to 10 on the B, which by the way is very popular for this. And basically you slide from 10 to 12 on that B string. And then now you have the 10th fret on the high E, and you can just slide that to 12. And now you're in the home row, which you got to be able to go the ace freely.
Exactly. Man,
And
first
that's
lick I learned.
Yeah, right. and the only lick I learned, but no drummer here, sorry. But so one more time, 0, 3, 5, slide to 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, slide to 9, 7, 9. Weird little transition, but not too bad. 8, 10, slide to 12, 10, slide to 12. And now you're in the home row. So like if you were only working on that home row for a while, and you're like, I don't have anything else, now you have a whole pathway that you can expand in each spot. The other thing is, like, you can learn licks in each spot, and then when you feel like uninspired or you don't have any licks, you can just go up that thing and down that thing, and you have a lot of space before you run out. So.
Whoa!
Boomer bend. Boomer bends.
It's official.
Yeah, boomer bends unite.
It's official.
The gray hair comes out when you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even more.
And then, you can go down as well. And the other cool thing about it is you only use your index and ring finger for the whole thing. And then expand upon that. So I've been able to see just in one lesson showing that to someone and having them sound so much more musical.
Yeah.
Because, everyone hears that. And that's how I started.
That's how we all started.
Yeah, but I'll never forget when I went. For real, I'll never forget. I was like, wait a minute. I just discovered that thing.
That's how that works. That's it.
And then all of a sudden I remember too, double, by accident.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whoa, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Mom, I did it. That's what got me hooked.
Yeah.
It's those every tiny little discovery, and all of a sudden I had this whole new thing, and I'd just go off for an hour, 2 hours working on that new little accident,
And making it feel musical and sound musical, like it feels
and
right to you.
I've still want to grab a guitar. I mean, if I haven't had a guitar around, I'm like, I don't feel like that feeling of grabbing a guitar is.
I know, and isn't it weird? I mean, for me, when I was a teenager, I thought at some point I'd run into a spot where it was like, okay, I've kind of learned most of it. Man, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. It's just like I open this door and it's like, whoa, well, there's another whole like giant warehouse full of stuff
or
I
just
don't
hearing like someone that blows your mind,
Too many.
Too many.
I
know, especially now with the internet. And they're like children.
Yeah, right. But we have instant access to them. Before it was like, hey, have you ever heard of that Alan Holdsworth guy? And it's like, who's that? It's like, and you'd have to go hunt down a record or knew somebody that had a record or whatever.
I know.
Yeah, it's.
And then I feel like at least something, since I've been doing it for 14 years, on the video aspect of it. I'm now, it was something I never thought about when I was doing it. I was like, I just am trying to have a job.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to pay the bills.
Right.
Stay in the house, roof overhead, diapers on the babies,
Right.
But now, I've met, for instance, the guitar player from Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah.
I mean, he is clearly a natural musician, great guitar player. Sure. I take no credit for any of these people. My content was there for them as kids, to get started.
Right. And inspire them in some way.
Yeah, and they've told me that now. And so this whole other, beautiful gift that I've been able to receive, by helping kind of get some of these people started.
Man, and to be fair, you are really inspiring, seriously. And all your lessons really are. And that is one of the most important things as a teacher is to be inspiring. I mean, it's one thing to be great or a taskmaster or whatever, or have some amazing curriculum, but if you don't inspire people,
I've always been kind of a ham growing up, performer, I guess. Before I played guitar, I was just kind of liked to make people laugh and goof off and entertain people.
Sure.
So I think that's probably the best thing I've been able to bring to it, is just that I'm just naturally like to try and make someone laugh or something, or make them feel good. And I've been able to add that with actually knowing, I think, and learning how to teach guitar.
Yeah,
it's that combination.
Yeah,
Right. It's like I don't make a lesson to go, I'm going to show you how awesome I am. In my mind, the goal is like, I'm going to try and translate how to help this concept right now that helped me.
Yeah, I'm going to show you something that you probably need to know.
So speaking of, you've got something for me.
I do. I know a lot of people that watch your channel are, like you said, are just getting started.
Sure.
And so moving this direction across the neck is a lot harder than moving this direction.
And a scary word.
Yeah, the A word, arpeggios. But it's really just, 4-note. I'm going to talk about seventh chords. 4-note chords, right? So there's built on, 1, 3, 5, and 7. So in this case, I'm going to use a major seventh arpeggio because it's the easiest fingering to understand.
Gotcha.
We're going to talk about G major seventh, and for anybody who's not exactly sure how G major seventh is built, the notes are G, B, D, and F sharp, right? So here's a trick for playing 3-octave G major 7 arpeggio, which sounds frightening if you're a beginner, right?
Right.
So, but it's really easy. So I'm in second position here. So I'm on fret 2, so it's 2, 3, and then 2, 5, right? And you have that shape, right? And then you take that shape and you move it up 2 frets and drop it down to the D and the G string. So we are 4, 5, and then 4, 7. And then we move it up a couple more frets, right? And we are 7, 8, and then 7, 10. Same shape on 3 different sets of strings, so it works on those string groups like this. So this is a group, this is a group, and this is a group. And it transfers easily, and it works with any chord quality, any inversion. Like, okay, so I'm going to take those same 4 notes, and I'm going to do a different inversion. I'm going to go B, D, F sharp, G. So it gets pretty. It transferred across the neck. Any chord quality again. Now I'll do G dominant 7th, right? So instead of F sharp, it's going to be F natural. Great way to get across the neck.
Yeah, that's my sound. I like that.
Yeah.
Can I play a G major 7 rhythm for you, and then you improvise, but showing those? I want to hear it.
Sure, I'll show.
This is what I want.
Yeah, we'll put it in context.
Forget you guys.
This is for Marty.
Oh, we're still rolling?
Oh, what? Are we?
pass me the martini, extra dry with 2 olives. Let's go G dominant now.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, good stuff, right? I mean, it gets you across the neck
For sure.
pretty easily and sets you up in all those various positions. Now, again, for a beginner, that's a lot to digest, but mess around with it.
And also,
right?
you can just literally just start with.
Right.
Okay, I'm done today.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Tomorrow, I'm going to go.
Yep.
Maybe the next. You know, it's all about those little. I always.
Increments.
I tell people 5 minutes a day is all you need, and truly you need more than that.
Yeah.
But I say that so you pick up the guitar.
Right.
know-
Because once you pick it up, you're not going to put it in.
Right. Or if you have one of those breakthroughs, 5 minutes will become an hour, but 5 minutes sounds so unintimidating.
Yeah.
But I'm really just trying to get you to not avoid the guitar. You got to pick the thing up.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, and also, really, I mean, as far as like being really intense about trying to conceptualize or digest something, 5 minutes is, you can take in a lot in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're like really concentrating on something, 5
hyper-focused.
minutes can be intense.
Yeah.
Especially when the
definitely.
professor's staring at you.
Right.
Well, hey, Don, thanks for having me.
Hey, Marty. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Actually, really had fun, man.
I know. Me too, man. Fun to talk about teaching, right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. I always feel comfortable getting to talk about that stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's your thing, man. That's what you do.
Hey,
Teaching the world, man.
it's the hat.
You in the hat teaching the world. Hey, thanks for watching.